All right, so I'm already tired of hearing it. I'm already tired. The United States government has shut down. It doesn't mean what everyone's trying to make it sound like it means. It's a regular thing. It's happened, I think, two or three times in my lifetime. It happens from time to time where the government will shut down, and either because they can't agree on legislation and they're working on fixing it, or whatever. They shut down from time to time. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the United States government. It's just a normal thing that happens. Um, and then in Civil War news, we have another church shooting. Which why? Why do these people have to start at churches? Like it drives me so insane that they do this. Like it makes me want to be violent and aggressive. And I think that's the point. I think that they're going to keep targeting churches until the right begins to react very violently and very aggressively. I think that's the objective from the left. And then we have a suspicious device detonated outside of a TPUSA event. It was a bomb threat. It was a bomb threat. They tried to blow it up to make sure that it was safe to get out of there. Their objective was to. I mean, it's something you do. It's like basically a controlled demolition. If they've determined that it's not like nuclear or there's no chemical weapon inside of it, it's just an explosive charge. They'll move it somewhere in the building. They'll just blow it. Like it's if they can't figure out how to defuse it, that's the general tactic. I guess I don't fucking know. Anyway, um, so let's talk about the government shutdown first because that is like the dumbest story ever. I don't know why this is news, but it is. Like, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see if I can find on X. Like Gavin Newsom is trying to. He's trying. He's like, oh, the government shut down. The last time the government shut down, Donald Trump was president. Coincidence? It's like, Gavin, shut up. You're such a bitch. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here we have Gavin Newsom. Last time government shutdown was when Donald Trump was president. It cost the American people $11 billion. Almost like there's a pattern here. Shut up, Gavin. You're so annoying. Then Gunther Eagleman says, well, it's called the Schumer shutdown for a reason. Have fun in the midterms running with a shutdown overshadowing everything else you all have done. I just like the reason Chuck Schumer and Democrats are shutting down the government is to extort funds for free healthcare for illegals. Gavin Newsom is wasting over $8 billion on free healthcare for illegals in California this year. He wants that for the rest of us. He hates America. Right here. California to spend $8.4 billion this year on healthcare for illegal aliens. Look, it's pretty obvious that they want to spend your tax dollars to give illegal aliens, criminal immigrants, healthcare. They don't deserve healthcare. They don't belong here. Go away. It's my country, not yours. You don't get free stuff. I don't get free stuff. You definitely don't get it. You don't even belong here. Go away. It just kills me that Gavin Newsom is like, he is trying so hard to run for president, and like everyone's just kind of ignoring. Like, Gavin, shut up. Like, just shut up, Gavin. Nobody's listening to you. You're irrelevant. Fuck off, please. You're annoying. Bernie says, if you have health insurance, I'm asking you to fight for those who don't. They scratched out fight, wrote pay. If you're native born, I'm asking you to fight for the undocumented. They scratched out fight and wrote pay. If you can afford an education, I'm asking you to fight for those who can't pay. The only way we defeat Trump's human solid. Oh, the only way we defeat Trump is with human solidarity. Scratch that out. Lies, hate, and division. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that the communist is telling people to pay for other people's stuff. I mean, that's like if you're new to politics, that's communism in a nutshell. Pay for other people's stuff. And if that doesn't work, kill the people that won't. I mean, that's pretty much how communism works. You're going to pay for my shit, and if you don't, I'm going to kill you. It's pretty simple. Anyway, let's get into the news, though. What BBC has to say, because I love the way they frame this. From BBC, why the U.S. government has shut down and what happens now. Nothing. Nothing happens now. The government shut down because we're not funding healthcare for illegal immigrants. That's why it happened. Funding for the U.S. government has been cut after President Donald Trump's Republican Party failed to agree with opposition Democrats on a way forward on a spending bill. Note how they don't mention the truth at all. It means that some, but not all, U.S. government services are coming to a temporary halt. Although budget confrontations are common in U.S. politics, this spending fight is especially tense because Trump has spent the last 9 months drastically cutting the size of the national government. He has suggested that the present impasse could give him an opportunity to do more of this. Why has the U.S. government shut down? This has happened because the Republicans and Democrats could not come together and pass a bill funding government services into October and beyond. The Republicans control both chambers of Congress, but the Senate, or upper chamber, they are short of the 60 votes they need to pass a spending bill. Opposition Democrats therefore have some leverage. Blah, 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 blah. Nowhere in here do they mention the funding of health care for criminal immigrants. Nowhere in here do they mention that. No, not a single word. Why do you lie? Why are you so disingenuous? You notice how every sentence, every paragraph starts with the Republicans under Donald Trump. Donald Trump's Republican Party. And it's all framed in this, look at how bad Donald Trump is. Look at the evil thing Donald Trump is doing. This is the shit that causes people to climb on a roof and shoot Charlie Kirk. This is the shit that causes it. Instead of just being honest and saying Democrats and Republicans can't come to an agreement because one side of the argument wants to give health care to illegal immigrants and the other side of the argument wants to remove illegal immigrants. They can't just say that. That's just the facts of the facts of the situation. No, instead they have to sit here and lie to your face. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Civil War because we might as well. From Fox News, bomb squad detonates suspicious device at Utah State University prior to TPUSA event. A non-explosive device was detonated before Turning Point USA's first Utah event since Charlie Kirk assassination. A suspicious device was detonated by law enforcement at Utah State University on Tuesday afternoon prior to the first Turning Point USA event in the state since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The institution was already taking extra security measures amid heightened concerns. According to a statement from Utah State University, a suspicious device was located near the exterior of Old Main, a building on campus. While the device was deemed to be non-explosive, it was detonated by a bomb squad. Someone can be heard yelling, "Fire in the hole," before a loud explosion was heard, according to a video obtained by Fox News. A suspicious device. That's just a quote. That's just a quote of what I just read. So long story short, there was a suspicious device and someone called it a bomb threat, and the police came and clacked it off, as you do. That's really all there is to it. I guess I could play the video, but you don't really see anything. Yeah, I mean, you just see the little flash. Yeah, like it's a nothing burger. It's just a big nothing burger. But I think it goes on to show where the left is when we have had, I think we haven't had more than 3 days without an attack on ICE. I think Crowder was saying that we haven't had more than 3 days without an attack on an ICE facility or an ICE agent. We have bomb threats at turning point events. We have church shootings. We have a group on the left that is targeting us. They are going after where we get together for our free speech events. They're going after where we worship. They're going after everything in our lives because they want to make us so afraid to exist. They don't want us to be comfortable. Do you remember when Maxine Waters called for violence against conservatives? Let me see if I can find it. How did she say it? She was calling for people to get in the faces of. Oh, here it is. Oh, hold on. Let me fix that. Yoni. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry that audio was atrocious. I don't know why that was so horrible. Like, we've been. When was that video from? No, that was reposted in 2025. I think this was. When was the original? I forget when that video came out originally, but that video I think is a few years old at this point. Of Maxine Waters calling for people to get in the faces of Republican lawmakers, calling for people to get violent with Republican lawmakers. At what point do we say, okay, enough is enough? You have called for violence. We will not tolerate this any longer. Here we have another travesty that comes mostly from the left. From the AP, gunman opens fire at Michigan church and sets it ablaze, killing at least 4 and wounding 8. I want to say, for how loaded out and ready to kill these leftists are, they're really bad at it. They're really fucking bad at it. They get 3, 4 people, at most. They shot 12 people, and that's not. At worst, they shot 12 people. That's assuming that the fire didn't hurt anybody. Best case, they shot 4 people and 8 people got hurt in the fire. Like, they're not very good at this, but they continue to do it because it's not about being good at it. It's about sending the message. If you go to church, we will stop you. We will kill you. If you are a Republican, we will kill you. If you think that you want to be a member of Turning Point USA, we will kill you. That's the point of all this. The point of it is you will conform to our beliefs or we will kill you. Just real quick, because, I'm something of a semantic person. Just bear with me. Oh, that is a wonderful. I hate this. An advocate or adherent of fascism. I searched the word fascist. I hate when they use the word in the definition. I guess we have to Google the word fascism. A system of government marked by centralization of authority under a dictator, capitalist economy subject to stringent environmental controls, violent suppression of the opposition, and typically a policy belligerent. A policy of belligerent nationalism and racism. A political philosophy or movement based on or advocating such a system of government. Oppressive dictatorial control. Let's go back a hair. And right here. Violent suppression of the opposition. Now let's go here. Gunman opens fire at Michigan church. Sounds to me like the people that are claiming the most to be anti-fascist are in fact the fascists themselves, as these things always go. We see time and time again, Black Lives Matter. They run through the streets chanting and burning down everything in sight. Not Black Lives Matter, the group. I'm saying Black Lives Matter is what they're chanting. They run through the streets, waving their flags, chanting Black Lives Matter as they burn down cities. You will hear me, or I will destroy you, is what they're saying. Sounds kind of fascist to me. Charlie Kirk has opinions and talks to people, and they try to shoot him in the face, but they're a terrible shot. I guess they still got the job done, just not the way they wanted to. Sounds kind of fascist to me. Most people on the left are godless. Most people on the left are they don't believe in God. They're atheists. They're bad people. So what is their solution? I don't believe in God, so I will murder you for going to church. I will destroy you because you went to church. Sounds a little fascist to me. Also, I never understand why these people don't do better. It's like, you hate me so much, you're going to try to kill people that agree with me. And then you do so poorly at it. How dare you? Like, if you're going to do it, at least be good at it, you piece of shit. Anyway, let's read the article. An ex-Marine, that makes it even worse! What happened to every Marine's a rifleman? An ex-Marine smashed a pickup into a church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Michigan, opened fire, and set the building ablaze during a crowded Sunday service, and then was fatally shot by police. At least 4 people were killed and 8 wounded. Authorities were searching the building ruins for more victims. The attack occurred at about 10:25 a.m. while hundreds of people were in the building in Grand Blanc Township. Outside of Flint. The man got out of the pickup with 2 American flags raised in the truck bed and started shooting. Police Chief William Renier and Police Chief Bill told reporters. The attacker apparently used gas to start the fire and also had explosive devices, but it wasn't clear if he used them, said James Deere of ATF. I don't like you, James. I don't like you. I'm sorry. You might be a good dude. I can't appreciate what you do because of who you work for. Authorities identified the shooter as Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40, of the neighboring small town of Burton. The FBI is leading the investigation, considering it an act of targeted violence. Said Reuben Coleman, a special agent in charge for the Bureau. Here's what I think. Motive is not yet clear. If I had to guess, we're going to find out that this is some... I thought that was a Ukraine thing. If I have to guess, we're going to find out that this was someone who was radicalized by the rhetoric of the left and decided This was probably some atheist. This was probably some godless man that had no direction in life and heard time and time again how terrible the right is, how terrible the Christians are, how Christian conservatives want to take rights away from women. And here's the thing that really gets me. I talk to women and I ask them, would you give up your right to vote if it meant your husband could provide for the family on one income and you could live a very comfortable life? You would only have to do basic housewife chores. And 9 times out of 10, they say yes. Most of the women I pitch this to say, well, I don't vote anyways. One woman I asked said, as long as I don't lose any other rights. I said, like what? Guess what she said? Yeah, it's not a right to kill your child. Sorry. I don't know who needs to hear that, but abortion's not a right. It's something we tolerate in this country, and I hope one day it is no longer tolerated, whether it's made illegal or whether it's just, it gets to the point where people make it unthinkable and it never happens anymore. Like Rand Paul said, abortion shouldn't be illegal, it should be unthinkable. My point, however, though, is we get people that are radicalized by the left. People that think women are losing their rights. People that think gays have no rights. People that think trans people are being massacred in the streets by Christians. Because that is the rhetoric and the lies pushed by the left-wing media. The mainstream media even. CNN pushes it every day. The View pushes it every day. It's in our mainstream comedy. It's in our mainstream television. It's in everything mainstream. We see time and time again these right-wing extremists, this right-wing extremist, right-wing extremist, right-wing extremist, over and over and over again. We never see left-wing extremist tries to kill Donald Trump. Somehow they try to spin it. MAGA supporter tries to kill President Trump. Makes no sense. Why would a MAGA supporter try to kill Donald Trump? That makes no fucking sense. And then you get these people that see this every day, that see how violent, how dangerous Republicans are, how destructive the right is. And they say, I gotta do something about this. Trump's not gonna give up power. I gotta stop more of these people. I gotta go to a church and stop a bunch of these people. Like, these people get together at churches. I gotta go to a church and stop all these people. I can stop all of them. If I go to their church, I can stop 20 or 30 of them. Well, if I go while they're all at church. If I go after their kids, then maybe they'll stop. That's what these people, and there's no secret that on the left they have a higher rate of mental illness. So you basically take crazy people and you tell them that people that disagree with you are violent extremists, and if someone disagrees with you, you should kill them. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think happens when you do that? Well, I'll tell you what I know for sure is the violence isn't stopping. The rhetoric isn't stopping. I guess the only thing we can do is continue to protect ourselves and do what we can to keep our families and our homes safe. We can talk about home defense plans. We can talk about living off grid. We can talk about all of it. But at the end of the day, we have to do what we can now to keep our families as safe as possible, because unfortunately, there is a faction in this country that wants to destroy anyone that is slightly conservative. Even people like my mother, who is fairly not conservative, would not be safe by these people's standards. Even someone like my mother, my mother is pro-abortion. She does. She thinks it's something that should be. I don't think it's something that should be. We disagree on a lot of things, but even just my mother saying, homeschooling is probably really good for a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids that should be homeschooled. That's a right-wing policy now, saying yes, I support the Second Amendment. That's a right-wing policy. That makes you a right-wing extremist. My mother can't stand Trump, but she would be labeled a right-wing extremist for those two opinions. They would say, no, you're one of those crazy right-wingers. She likes the idea of living out, not in the middle of nowhere because she's kind of a princess, but she likes living somewhere where you have enough land to have chickens and goats and things of that nature. She likes that idea, the homestead idea. She's into it. She likes it. She's not crazy about it like I am, but she's like, that sounds really nice. Yeah, that sounds like something that would be wonderful. She's not crazy about it. It's not her end goal like it is mine, but that makes you an extremist. She believes in self-sufficiency. That makes you a right-wing extremist now. Here, I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, we always had blankets in the trunk because you never know when the car's going to break down. And if you have a blanket, you can at least stay warm. We always had jumper cables. We always had a first aid kit in the car because you never know when shit's going to go bad. Now, I ratchet that up to 10. Okay, I have 3 blankets in my car, plus I have space blankets in my rucksack, plus I have, the ability to start a fire, plus I have, triple it, whatever it is. Instead of a first aid kit with some Band-Aids, I have a first aid kit with some Band-Aids. I have a huge first aid kit that has more, not life-threatening, but you have a bad cut, you're not going to die, you don't need to go to the doctor, but you need to do something about that. And then I have a trauma kit on top of that. And I have multiple trauma kits. I have one on my war belt here. It's a very small trauma kit. This is more of just a gunshot kit. But even when I'm shooting, I have this, plus a trauma kit, plus that bigger aid bag. And all this one is chest seals, some gauze, and a big trauma pad for, a big burn, a big slice, whatever it may be. It's just one of those, if you punctured your arm, you can wrap it up with this. Anything like that. And then we've also got the gauze, the quick clot gauze, and the chest seals. We've also got some duct tape because duct tape's a good thing to have, especially for field medicine. Duct tape is really nice for that. But I digress. My point is, and there's a tourniquet on this as well. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but buy cat tourniquets. Do not buy the Amazon knockoff. Do not buy something that looks like this. Buy cat tourniquets from North American Rescue or anywhere that sells North American Rescue cats. Don't buy the cheap Amazon ones. Don't buy the knockoff ones, and do not use your life-saving gear for training. Buy a training tourniquet. But I digress. My point is, just having a first aid kit in your car now makes you an extremist, let alone this kind of stuff. This stuff, yeah, it even I would be like, okay, that's a little extreme. But I shoot a lot and accidents happen. Why would I not have access to this? Why would I not have this kit on my gun belt? And I just bring my gun belt when I go shooting because I already have a tourniquet and I already have first aid ready to go. I know where it's at. Why wouldn't I bring that? I mean, that makes you an extremist now. That makes you a radical now. That you have a tourniquet and a small, as it is, trauma kit on your shooting belt. And the fact that you have first aid at all makes you an extremist now. Because, what do you have first aid for? Well, you think the doctor's not going to come? What do you have that gun for? You think the police aren't going to come? What, you think you're a cop? You think you're a vigilante? What are you doing that you think you need a gun? What are you doing with that? What do you need a gun for? Anything that shows a little bit of preparedness, a little bit of I'm ready, makes you an extremist in these people's eyes. Now, obviously, we're not extremists. I every day when I go to work, I take my rucksack that has a knife, a saw, fire starting equipment, a big tarp that I can sleep under. I have food in it. I have an MRE in it. I have a headlamp. I have some fishing line in it. I have goodies in it. Okay, it's a kit that I have a bunch of goodies in, and some of these things correlate to real life. Some of these things are only for survival situations. Big ass knife, I'm probably not using every day. The saw I've actually used at work. Driving the semi, I've had to cut things with the saw, just because what I do, sometimes I'm not on traditional truck routes, or I'm in places that were never really designed for a truck, and I need to cut a tree limb down, or I need to cut through something that's in my way. And yeah, I have a saw. I have, a multi-tool. I have like a bunch of stuff that I carry in that bag correlates not only to shit hit the fan, but also my daily life. I can use, if I really needed to, I could use that tarp if I broke down and had to help fix the truck. I can use that tarp for all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was a cheap tarp. If I have to say, hey, you know what? Let's wrap this greasy part up in this tarp. Okay. I mean, like, whatever. Or if I have to roll that tarp out and lay on the ground, or even I'm at a customer and my truck starts puking fluid and I can no longer drive it, I can throw that tarp down and at least try to salvage their parking lot a little bit. Like, I have so much stuff that correlates, but it makes you an extremist because what you think your truck's going to break down and you might need to start a fire to stay warm? What are you? Are you paranoid? I mean, it's not uncommon for me to be in a situation where I'm not walking distance from a town in either direction. It's going to be an all-day walk, especially in the wintertime. It gets cold in Ohio. And there's times that, yes, I could break down in the middle of nowhere. I could break down where it's 10, 15, 20 miles either direction before I hit a town. It can happen very easily. There's a couple spots I'm thinking of on the way to Columbus where if I broke down in a certain spot, it's 10 miles one way until I hit the next town, or I could maybe walk intersecting to the highway and find the next town, but who knows how far that is. I mean, it's not like you're just, all right, I'm ready to go. So when I have stuff to start a fire, yeah, of course I would have stuff to start a fire because it gets cold. And sometimes you need a fire to warm up, especially if you're broken down on the side of the highway and it's -5 or it's a torrential downpour and you can't leave your truck. You have no options. You've got to stay in the truck and be cold and hope that you don't freeze to death. No, you wear the appropriate layers and you bring things with you like space blankets. Sometimes it gets cold. Bring extra socks because sometimes your feet get wet. I don't know about you, but I hate wet feet. Anyway, I digress. I think it's insane to me that we've been targeted because of our beliefs, and there is a group of people in this country that want to kill us because, in some cases, you bring your jacket because it might rain. What are you, paranoid? What are you, crazy or something? You carry that gun because you might get robbed? Well, isn't somebody's life more valuable than your wallet? No, fuck that guy. Quite honestly, fuck that guy. I don't care about that guy. That guy doesn't care about that guy. Fuck that dude. Anyway, I digress. I'll leave it there. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember, it is a daily show. You can find it here on Rumble. You can find it over on YouTube if you want to deal with the censorship. I'm waiting to get canceled. I had a video get taken down and it went back up, so I assumed that meant it was manually reviewed. I wasn't told about it. I don't know why it was taken down and then put back up. It just disappeared for a couple of days. That was rad. Nothing really happens on Instagram because I don't know how to use Instagram, but also on X, the full show will be posted there. It's it goes up when it goes up. I don't post it regularly. I try to. Sometimes I go a couple days without posting them, and then I'll just post a bunch of them. So if you're looking for these full shows, the links are on X. They don't go up regularly though. So if you're watching this, you're probably watching on YouTube or Rumble. Everything's under sgarrettmedia. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. But what day is it? Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. So there will be one tomorrow. Never mind. I was going to say that's the last for the week, but it's not. It's not. Thursday is the last day for the week. So Sunday night to Thursday night is when the show goes up. If this ever becomes my main source of income, that it would change and it would be a Monday to Friday show. But until then, Sunday night to Thursday night so that you can have it Monday through Friday and I don't lose my job. That's all I have for you. I'll see you all in the next one.